was freezing cold outside at this point. It was like, 5 degrees or 6 degrees. It was really cold.
Yeah.
Cinemax didn't do any marketing. HBO didn't do any marketing. Max didn't do any marketing. No marketing. There's been no marketing out there at all. I'm like,
yeah.
And the wonder ends when you can run through the tackle.
Will we see a season 4? Is it done for sure? We don't know. All right, guys, come on in here. Let me just say this from the beginning. Do not, I repeat, do not like, do not comment yet on this video.
What?
Because I want you to thoroughly immerse yourself and enjoy part 2 of my discussion with Brett Chan, Mr. Brett Chan, stunt coordinator, actor, performer, director. If you guys like part 1 or checked out part 1, you'll know that the guy has just a vast resume, shows like Halo, Kung Fu the Reboot. I mean, too many to list. But this time we're going to really delve into Warrior. For all my fans of the Warrior series, and you know I'm a huge fan of the show, I want you guys to really, really listen to everything Brett's got to say about the show, what's coming, what possibly will or will not be coming. Will there be a season 4? And if or if not, the reasons why. I highly recommend, though, that you stay till the end of the video, because not only are we going to spend time on Warrior, but Brett is also going to share the do's and do nots of what it takes to get in the industry if you're really interested in being a stunt performer or anything in that realm. So guys, sit back, relax, and let's do this. Congratulations on the Emmy for Warrior. Well, at least you guys were up for one in 2024 for Outstanding Stunt Coordination for drama programming. What was that like when you got that call, like, hey, you guys are up for another? Because you guys got several, yes?
Yeah. We have 2, season 2 and season 3. We were nominated. Yeah, it was 2. I mean, it's dope. I mean, it's a nice party. To be look, I mean, like season 2, we were up against Marvel, Disney, DC Comics, and us. And so, I mean, these are all $200 million plus shows, and we are a $50 million show shot outside the country. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. I mean, that means people are actually watching it and they're loving it.
No, man. I mean, I can't say give you enough high praise for Warrior. I talked to Perry Young a couple of times. Such a good guy. He came on, aka Father June, as most people know, and he talked about you real quick. I'll play you the clip really quick. He's such a good dude. Training, because I saw you guys did on-set training. How was that? Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. And for me, it's kind of one of the best parts of being in the show is that, I don't do any fighting really. And in season 3, I'm actually going to do a little more, but I won't say what it is, right?
Right on.
But yeah, so training is just amazing, and I gotta hand it to Brett, Brett Chen and Johnny Yang, who's his #1 assistant, who does a lot of the choreographing, fight choreo, and previouses where they shoot the fight scenes and they sort of tell the normal director how they think the fight scene should go. Yeah, so they have a big job. I mean, Brett has done some amazing work. I mean, he's always done amazing work, right? So this season, episode 1 opens with this huge epic fight. And like all the fans are gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is how it opens."
Yeah, so that was obviously back before season 3 just started, and you got the new renewal on Max and everything. So how did you get the call to do Warrior?
I was on a movie. I was on Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, nice.
During that time, but the coordinator at the time, Al. I mean, he had everything covered. It was his main show, so I'm like. I got a call from Justin Lin's office, and they'd like to come meet me, and if I'd be interested. And I said, yeah, I would definitely love to. So they flew me out to Los Angeles. Danielle Woodrow, which is Justin Lin's partner at the time, they sat down, we had a big conversation about stuff, and they said, great, you're a guy. I'm like, whoa, that was it.
Nice.
And and Richard Sharkey, who's the producer on the show, he's the one that kind of introduced me. But it's nerve-wracking because you're on a show that has Bruce Lee's name on it that didn't get made.
You have offended my family.
Whatever political reasons again.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and it's kind of nerve-wracking because you have to make sure that it's something good. So I'm really glad. I've had a show or two before that I've kind of been a part of, and people don't realize we don't always have all the input what's happening with it, how it's shot, how it's edited, and all sorts of things. So this one show that was on, it was really hell for me. So I was just kind of hoping that I was going to be able to redeem myself on this one, and I think I did.
Oh man, you guys, you killed it. I mean, again, this has been one of my favorite shows. And Jonathan Tropper was the main producer on it, who I love from Banshees.
I've been in tighter spots than this. I'm still here.
So I was already going in like, like a lot of those shows get missed. It's like one of those things where it's like, hey, have you ever seen? Because you guys are on Cinemax, which didn't get as, didn't promote the shows as well. And even when you moved, I think you got a little more exposure on HBO Max, now Max, but still not to me the amount of promotion that those shows should have gotten.
They didn't do any marketing.
Yeah.
Cinemax didn't do any marketing. HBO didn't do any marketing. Max didn't do any marketing. No marketing. There's been no marketing out there at all. I'm like, just a little bit of help, you guys. And this is like a killer show. It would be, I don't know why, but you get some other shows out there and I'm like, oh, how does that even get made?
Right.
How does it get a season 5 for frig's sake? What in the world?
And not to cut you off, but just because it's so good, and I tell people all the time about Warrior, it's not just the martial arts in it, it's the storyline. It's, it's a time period piece that's really almost like mirrors even things going on today, the political side, the structure, you got the Irish, you got Chinese coming in, all of this good drama, and the levels is what's always like complementing each other.
Characters are so rich. I mean, yeah, I know. And so then after that, Jonathan Tropper, he basically said, okay, Brett, you basically shoot all the action and all the drama within the action. So
nice.
I started doing more drama in the action, and so I was shooting all the second action directing, and then they gave me an episode season.
Right. And you got to direct an episode, right? I got like a little piece here.
Shannon Lee in mine.
I was just about to say Shannon Lee's in the episode.
It's always been a story that I've known in my family, that my father had written this treatment, had pitched this show, was supposed to star in a show for Warner Brothers, a TV show, but was not cast because he was Chinese, and they didn't think that American audiences would accept that.
So, of course, it's one of my favorite. And by the way, I noticed the theme, so that must have been a theme especially after season 1. Every season has one episode where you guys kind of go off the reservation, so to speak. And there's like, so it's always like, season 1, you guys went out like a Wild West kind of thing. And then season 2 was a tournament. And then season 3, once again, so you got to direct that episode with the German guys, right?
German guys, yeah.
So I got a little piece of that here. Shannon Lee played the mom. No pressure. No pressure. And then this is like Father June's whole thing where he comes in and he's the badass in that, right? Because he has his point where he gets in and they start tearing up the town. I'll skip ahead just a little bit. Yes, go ahead.
So Johnny Yang was my stunt coordinator for my episode. So this sequence coming up right here is a oneer that he's dividing.
Yeah, so nice.
So this is all a oneer following here. We have guys underneath the camera running with mats, and the guys that fall down. You see it.
Yeah.
There. There's mats underneath there. As the camera sits up, hands off, guys went over the mats. It's all still a oneer.
So cool. Yeah.
And the oneer ends when Ethan Young Jr. does the tackle. The cowboy switch there.
Yeah, this is all just cool. It's just like the fluid motion. You're going
right here, yeah. Okay, that's the double. Up, back facing again.
Right.
There you go.
But it's seamless, man. It's seamless. It's like you really have to be really watching to not know it's not a one shot. But it's beautiful, man. Like some of the fight choreography was so cool. And
Thank you.
Some of the best fight choreography in a show I'd seen in a while. And then just the quality of actors. I mean, I know Koji had some martial arts background. Joe Taslim as well.
Koji has a lot of martial arts background. He used to be a tricker back in the day.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So I'd send him to TKDD in Korea for a month before he comes to South Africa. And then in South Africa, I have a training camp for him there of different things. Season 2, that's what he did, and season 3. And Joe Taslim is a judokai. I think he's third Dan. He's like national level.
I'm dying to get Joe Taslim on, by the way. Hey, Joe.
I never really wondered.
I really want to talk to him. Yeah.
Jason Tobin actually didn't have much martial arts experience, and which was actually good because his was a knife, and it was supposed to look like street knife and not like a professional knifer. So it was okay that he didn't. But as he's gotten into the season, he really loves the martial arts. He was training all the time. So he started taking some QCQ classes and some knife and some close combat fighting. And then now he's into jiu-jitsu. And so that's all. He's an avid. He just loves jiu-jitsu. And Koji loves jiu-jitsu now too. Koji's actually filming a movie right now. He wrote a short. He wrote a short. And he's it's about jiu-jitsu, and so he's doing it right now.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It actually brings up a good point. I wanted to ask you this too, since you brought it up. Everybody has their own unique style in the show. So, it's like Koji's got the more like that Wing Chun style in the beginning, and then Taslim's got his style, and then you've got Young Jun, as you mentioned before, he's got the knives. So when you were kind of like structuring, like looking at the characters, were you looking at each actor and what they could do when you came up with the styles, or was it just kind of like you already kind of had in your mind how each person's style would be?
Well, I take into account what they all kind of look like and how they move. So first training session, Andrew's, it kind of worked for him anyways because he's very movie like this, and we wanted him to be very JKD-ish looking with some Wing Chun in there, right? So basically, with Rich Ting as Bolo, and all the guys basically structure them all. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, how tall are you, Quasi?
I'm about 5'10".
You're 5'10", and how much do you weigh?
About 190.
Okay, so you're 5'10", and I'm about 5'8". And so I'm about 200 pounds. You're about 190. So if you and I were to train this exact same martial art for the exact same amount of time, the exact same instructor, the exact same everything, and if you and I were to throw a punch, but to execute the power, both of us would be using different movements to execute that power because of our size and height difference and movement.
Right.
So if you look at Joe's stock here, and Andrew's thinner, and Andrew's taller, so Jason's shorter and he's much thinner. So and Rich Ting is bigger. So
it's a big deal.
So I basically took martial arts that are Chinese styles and incorporated into how they move, and so that even if Andrew and Joe were throwing this exact same punch, they would look completely different how they execute it. And then I with Bolo, we'd put in a lot of hungar.
God damn, Bolo.
Yeah,
moves like that.
Very grounded.
Yeah. And so with Joe, he had he doesn't have a lot of full-on punching movements because of his power nature. But I always made it sure that whenever he grabbed you, it was gonna hurt. Yes. So, but with Joe, I gave him a lot of tiger. Okay. Because the aggressive movements come in this.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I didn't come and boom. But with Koji, it's all peppering, pepper, fast, kick, boom,
and he's
boom,
fast.
Little movement afterwards. So he would always have that. So you can see the contrast. Joe wouldn't be moving like that. He would kind of move the exact same executing movements, and this kind of showed in season 3, episode 1, when they were fighting on the street.
Because obviously we got a taste of it in season 1 when they fought in the tournament and they're different styles. But after when Sam's character matures more, because after season 2 he loses and he gets this whole like he totally re-immerses himself in martial arts.
He did a couple of moves, and that made Joe go, "What the fuck?" Meaning that he learned it, and he's learned it. So now his movement changed, and so he adapted it to a little bit like Joe's, and that's where when Joe grabs him, he grabs him back, and now they're in a standoff.
Yeah, and they had the
Yes. So that was the level of him learning.
Right.
And Jason, his movement became a little bit more jaggy at this point, but his character arc was a lot more messy this season because of him taking over the tongs, his father going away, you know what I mean? So everything kind of changed for him. So I didn't want his style to be completely like like badassery. Like when he's fighting in that camp, he's fighting for his life with no weapons. So
Right.
It's messy.
He doesn't have his knives, and he's just scrapping. Yep.
Just
I love that
scrapping.
episode.
And Dean Leary.
Leary Jagger. Yes.
He's out to kill now. So that's we saw that in his fight.
Absolutely. Super scrappy. So I gotta ask you the question. What are we?
Don't forget Hong.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh my God, I love Hong with the whip. Dude, by the way, because I'm a flexible weapon guy, so when I saw you had someone finally with a flex, I like this. It's cool.
So this is what because Rich, his story was he was a railroad worker, so he always carried this nail, this big railroad nail on season 1, but they didn't get into the story too much afterwards, and then of course he died, so we didn't see it.
Yeah,
we talk about it. Joe's all hands, those things with the knives, but we needed a weapon that was a little bit different. Mark Dukakis had little sword knives, a little bit, try to give a little bit of variation. But Chen, we didn't want it to be a whip chain because obviously you're going to carry this stuff around to make it look like it was
practical.
Practical. So we started with chain whip with him. Well, rope dart.
Okay, right.
In LA, and then we started getting a little chain whip and just minimizing the motions, making it shorter for him so he doesn't hit himself all the time. But Chen, he's a worker. I mean, he's not a martial artist. He wasn't ever a martial artist, but he definitely worked his ass off for it.
Yeah, for sure. No, the stuff, man, so good.
We can work with crazy.
So obviously I got to ask you, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, will we see a season 4? Is it done for sure? We don't know.
When Netflix got it, they bought the rights to air the 3 seasons. But Max still owns the rights for territories. So that's why when Netflix got it to air it, they only aired it in like 15 countries.
Okay.
It wasn't in Canada, it wasn't in the UK, it wasn't in Spain. So, these major countries, they weren't getting it, or Germany, because it was still airing on Max. And so I'm not sure what went on there. Like, they have to buy the full outright, or Max has to sell it to them, or I don't know.
Right.
There's some political thing happening.
Damn it.
So, it's tough. Like Shannon and Justin Lin said, they have one more trick on their sleeve that could hopefully get it going. But at that point, if it's too late, then it's too late, and then we won't get the actors all have to, they all got to work.
Right.
So, but I know that if it came back, all the actors would do everything they can to be back in the show, because we're like, it's such a tight-knit family group. It's probably the pinnacle of my career. Just how set and everybody was, from production to actors to producers to writers to it was just fantastic. So I mean, cross your fingers.
Fingers, toes, everything, man. I mean, because the way season 3 you guys left it, and it's not to spoil it for people that may not have watched it. It's like you're dying for season 4. So many little things that line up, and the potential.
If you would hear some of the storylines that they were planning on to do, you would be blowing your mind right now, Class. You'd be going crazy.
I'm sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I know.
Even the way you guys left it, it was like already in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, now that you got this dynamic, it's like, it's going to be so cool. And then we leave, and we didn't even mention like Chow, because Hoon Lee is one of my favorite guys, because I followed him from Banshee. It's like the acting wise, man. So I tell people all the time, go in for the action, sure, but you're going to really be impressed with the caliber of the acting, because you guys really brought it in the show all around. The writing was so good, little twists and turns you guys had at the end of the season 3. Which I won't spoil it all. I'll wrap things up really quickly, though, since we're talking about Warrior, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what your future plans are career-wise. But and I know it's hard, it's like a baby, right, or your favorite kid. You have a favorite fight scene from all the years that you did Warrior?
I know. I loved episode 10 season 1. I loved it. I loved episode 5 season 2.
Okay.
I mean, it was awesome. And the riot scene, I mean,
the riot scene was huge. Yeah.
Season 3, the Dean fight, the Mark Dukakis and Joe fight when Mark Dukakis kills me. The brothers fight at the end. It was, I mean, there's not one.
There's a lot.
I just love.
It's like picking your favorite kid. You can't really do it. It's like you could say, hey, right? It's like, but for me, I'm gonna tell you though, I had to, like, I'm so glad that I got you on when they said I was gonna get you. I was like, I gotta do this because it's like my favorite fight. I'll tell you straight up.
Which one?
Season 2, Leary and Sahm finally get their fight. And I'm like, oh my god, it's still one of the best fights to me. When this came on, because it was on Cinemax at the time, and I DVR'd it. I must have rewatched this fight like 10 times, man. So I'm gonna bring it up really quick, and like maybe you can break it down just a little bit, some of the stuff, like some behind the scenes stuff. And it's just the setup. Everyone was waiting for this. We knew it was coming, and it was teased so much. And you see the different styles. And to your point, you know, Dean's so much stockier. But at this time, Sam's really been just immersed in his training, and he's fighting completely different than he did in season 1.
And Dean was meant to be like a freight train. Yeah. Just coming through, right? And it's like...
Yeah, and the shit talking.
Are you gonna fight?
Yeah, you're gonna dance, you're gonna fight. He's like, what's with all this kick shit?
I'm still kicking. I must be on Broadway.
Hey, come on with it, right? How long did this scene take to film?
We had 2 nights.
3 nights. Okay.
2 nights.
2. Only 2
nights.
Okay.
But halfway through the first night, Koji got sick.
Oh no! Okay, so he was fighting sick.
So he was fighting sick, and this was like, it was freezing cold outside at this point. It was like, 5 degrees or 6 degrees. It was really cold.
Wow!
And it was nice, and we were basically block shooting, so we were still kind of shooting the riot scene. We were shooting the riots all daytime, and coming here to shoot this at nighttime.
Wow. Okay, that's a big testament, man. The dedication.
Koji was a machine.
This fight was so good and then you switch. It's like one guy will have the upper hand, and the next round another guy has the upper hand, and then it's just like they're pumping each other up. Dude, I love this fight, man.
I'm glad you see the idiosyncrasies of the time changing. I mean, I'm glad. I'm hoping that when I'm telling this story that people are seeing that.
Yeah, it's like, because this is really like just at the end of this season, it's like the culmination of like Sam's whole evolution, right? And he's finally been able to take this guy on like he couldn't have really done it in season 1. And you're rooting. It's funny because Leary's technically the bad guy, but you're rooting for both because you're like, they both got their own storylines and reason why they're so passionate, right? Because Leary's fighting for his people, Sam's fighting for his people. Yeah. So. And I just love this part because at this point, there's like no more fancy stuff. They're just punching. They're just going at it. It's a slugfest. It's like, you're going at it 100. I'm going at 100. I'm almost out of energy. You're almost out of energy. It's just so good. You're just, There was literally a point where I thought for sure Sahm was gonna win, but like, oh shit, he's gonna lose.
That's awesome. That's exactly how you want to see. Right there, like he's looking at his ass.
And that's when I was like, oh shit, is he gonna lose? I was like, all right. But even if he did, I would have been like, okay, I'm okay with it, because even seeing this process.
It is Leary,
It's Leary. Leary's a badass. Was there a lot of doubling for this fight, or was it just
no, man?
Okay,
mostly them.
Okay,
yeah. The big double kick was a double.
Okay,
but no, it was pretty much mostly all them.
And so I love that part where Sahm like kind of grounds himself. He's like, all right, there's this last part, and then he starts getting more technical, and he like broke his wrist and everything, and then he just really focuses at that point. I love it. And like you're saying, this is like him, the peppering, like, this is back to like almost his old style, but like, meshing the two, and then the big old knee to the face is just, And then when you think, okay, this is the end, Leary's got to be like, nah, he still gets up because he's a G like that. He's still got to get up and
stay in the fight. You can't stay down.
You can't stay down forever. And he's got to, like, his people are dependent on him.
Yeah. All the people are there.
And you come with the big finale. But I love this sequence here. This is the final sequence when, this is like Sahm really like the payoff, right? Because big shot to the heart. You're like, wow.
And that's owed to season 3 when you watch what happens when he fights the brothers.
Yes. It's, and then the big shot here, because it's just like, wow.
This is the only time it was doubled.
I figured this was a double, but it still looks so good. And it's a great finale. That big old kick is just like, okay. It's like, okay. At that point, game over, and we know. It's like, all right. And then he's like, hey, stay out of Chinatown or whatever.
Stay out of Chinatown, or I'll be back with a f***ing army.
Love that fight, man. That's like my all-time favorite. I got a few others, but that was number one if I had to come up with a list. Any other real quick story, the behind-the-scenes stories on that fight, or anything you remember, or anything you think?
Man, no, I just remember that Koji was sick, and it was
Gotcha.
like, what are we gonna do? We got to finish this, and so, but they grilled through it, and it was like that was the only time they had to use a double.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah,
love it, man. Love the work. So tell me really quick, like, what's next for you? What's next on the list for Brett Chan? I know you're working on stuff.
You know, there's a couple things coming up. I just finished a film for China. It's called the Red Sea Operation Leviathan. It was like the first one did a shit ton in China, but this is anyways, that's done. I'm up for, like, I was supposed to direct this film in the US, and there was a problem with my visa as a director. So I have a script called 16, and 16 has Miles Brown from Blackish.
Okay, nice.
He's attached to it. Joe Taslim and Andrew Koji, and one more person. We're kind of waiting. He gets it. If that happens, hopefully that goes in January.
Nice.
So that's me directing. Another show called Fox Hunt. It's me directing. It's about two assassins, that girl and a guy, and then they're partners, and they fall in love. She gets pregnant, but whatever it is, they want to get out of the business, and then their old boss hunts them down for leaving, because once you get in the biz, you can't leave.
Right.
That's that one. Then I've been asked to direct a movie in Colombia, so we're waiting to hear with that. It's a big shoot 'em up. Hopefully that all goes. But 16's I think the closest one right now. It's like an old rival story. Guy gets assassinated, gets killed, and this big superstition thing. Basically, he comes back to life in a spirit for like a short period of time, and he comes in the body of a boy who's 16 years old. That's the exact revenge how he can without now affecting the boy's life after he leaves.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of Crow sort of ish, like coming back.
Actually, yeah.
Nice. I like that twist. So my last question for anyone out there, your advice for anybody that's trying to get into the stunt world, or to do this full time like you are, as a stunt guy, or even coordinator, or director.
As a stunt guy, you're getting in. Be cool.
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
You go on jobs with people. Always be mindful. It's a small industry. So if you're lying about shit, it'll come out in the light, and that'll be not good for you. Don't be an asshole, because you get people don't like you. Like, I have a no asshole policy. So if you're on one of my shows with my team and you're an asshole, I cut you. We're way too long away from our families and everything. Our team becomes our family. So if you're going to be this way and nobody wants you around, or can spend 6 months with you outside the country, or like 10 hours with you on set, then this is probably better not to have you around. Be cool, man, and just be diligent, and just go train. Put your notes ground, go train, get out there, be genuine. Like, if you're going to call a coordinator up and try and hustle some work, it's cool. That's our job. But don't try to be the coordinator's buddy. Hey, man, so how are the kids? How's this? You're trying to be like, you care so much for them, because you're there for hustling a job. You don't really know them. Maybe once you get to know them, you can ask them these questions, stuff like this. One, don't call a coordinator personally on his phone, cell phone. If you don't know him intimately, email him. It's great. Social media. I don't really. When people hit me up on Facebook or whatever it is, or Instagram, I'm like, cool, man. Email it to me or something like that. I'm always respectful. I always respond to everybody. But you start calling me on my personal phone because you have my cell phone, then it kind of becomes like, hey, I'm not cool. But it's cool, and your reputation goes a long way. Get out there, train, and be seen training. Do not lie about your job. I know a dude who told everyone he could swim, and he couldn't swim. He jumped in the ocean with a bunch of people. He couldn't swim.
They had to save him.
The other two people beside him, because he was panicking.
Oh, damn.
Don't lie about your skill set, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's great advice, and really great advice too. You know, it's something small and I didn't even think about, but like when you get people's personal numbers, it's like, and it's not even to brag, like, but just working, like doing this for a little bit. You make contacts. I got contact with Cynthia Rothrock, for instance, and I ended up getting her number to set up the interview. But I've never I'm not gonna call her and be like, hey, what's up? You know, it's just like
no, but you know what, Quasi, it's different because you're calling her about this interview thing setting up. It's fine. It's different.
But I'm just saying I would never abuse it. Like just call her out random and just be like, hey, let's just shoot the shit. No, I always kept it business. And you know what? Every time I'd see her and she invited me out to the premiere, they did Black Creek like a month or so ago. And she's just one of those cool people, but I always respected the boundaries is what I'm saying.
Yes.
What I think you're saying. Yeah.
Be cognizant of that, to people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Brett Chan, man, I thank you so much for doing this. This was a whole lot of fun for me. As you know, like you can tell, I'm a huge Warrior fan. I'm hoping, obviously, fingers, toes, everything crossed to get a season 4. But even if we don't, I'm wishing you all the best, man, and continue keep up the good work, you know?
Thanks, bro.
Okay, guys, there it is. So what'd you think? Mr. Brett Chan back again for part 2. And by the way, if you have not already checked out part 1, we delve into Brett's martial arts history, so much more, his start in the industry. I suggest you go ahead and check that video out. I'll leave that available. Let me know now in the comments what you think, of course, and then give me a little like if you've enjoyed it so far, because now it truly will make sense since you've seen the video. And hey, all is fair. So if you've got good feedback from me, positive, negative, just make it constructive. Leave that down below, and do let me know what you're looking forward to or what you'd like to see us do in future videos, okay? I'll leave all my socials up here so you guys can follow me further, get more behind the scene info on what we're up to with the channel, especially coming into the new year. Got some great interviews coming up, as I'd mentioned before, that I know you guys are gonna like. So keep it here for that, and then do feel free to reach out to me at any time. So I really want to, again, keep building the community. You guys are so special and amazing to me as we round out this year. I want you all to know that, each and every one of you guys, and there's like 24,000 of you now. Started from the bottom and now we are here, and I know we're still small, but we're getting better and we're getting bigger, and I want to keep providing content that you guys truly appreciate and like. So that being said, guys, stay safe. Check out a couple other videos you guys might like. See you guys in the next round. Happy holidays. Keep punching.
Look at this one. Look at that one.